talking about Shannon Sharpe, and it's a very powerful statement and commentary. It's deep, it's layered, it's nuanced, it's well-intentioned. And people, because of social media and because we've been dumbed down to a point that people can't understand fully what Ray is talking about. What do you mean? Oh, Shannon drinks and, he didn't drink during his playing career and now he does and Ray's criticizing him for it. He gave you one little tiny example of the change in personality of Shannon Sharpe. It's much deeper what he's inferring, and he explains and leads you to that conclusion. Most people can't. People love the clickbaitishness of conversation, and they minimize and they maybe even can't understand the depth of what Ray Lewis is talking about. I'm going to explain it, but I want to first, Shannon Sharpe, I believe yesterday on Nightcap with he and Ocho Cinco, he responded to Ray Lewis.
So I'm going to move this forward a little bit to catch you up real quick, Oz. Ray Lewis went on Patrick Bet-David's show and made some comments about Shannon Sharpe, about how he has changed and how he's doing things that are not really in his personality. Like Shannon would never drink. He would never do any smoking, promoting sexual type medicines for men, all that type of stuff. And Shannon Sharpe came back and replied that, people love to knock you while you're down, things of that nature. We know he just paid off the lady for the lawsuit, and then he lost his position at ESPN. So now they're kind of going back and forth. Some people feel a certain type of way. But Whitlock was going to play Nightcap, but I want to skip over that because I want you guys to really hear the other part too. So here.
Isn't the worst response he could give. I expected something worse than this. But it's also not the proper response. And it's not a transparent, authentic response. And what Ray is intimating here, that Shannon is having difficulty dealing with, and I don't blame him for having difficulty dealing with it in real time. He's not surrounded, in my view, by people that will be honest with him and help him see the bigger picture. But I want to make an analogy to the movie Bamboozled. And this was back when Spike Lee wasn't a sellout. This was back when Spike Lee actually tried to make movies that mattered and had a point of view and a message to them. And he did this movie, I believe, in 2000. I think it was written clearly in the late 1990s. It hits theaters in 2000. And it's about these television characters that an executive, I think that was played by Michael Rappaport, the actor. Michael Rappaport, who is Jewish, played this television executive, and I think there was a black.
So I'm gonna move it forward because he's gonna go through this whole analogy, but I want to get to the situation where he goes into how Shannon Sharpe attacked Brett Favre when he was low-hanging fruit, but then also he goes back and shows the clip of Shannon Sharpe and Ray Lewis kind of getting into it on FS1 when he was on with Skip back in the day. So let's see.
Don't say that with venom. I say that with regret and disappointment. And that's what Ray is doing, with regret and disappointment. Shannon Sharpe, in his heart, is a fun-loving, good guy that was raised in the church, raised with some down-home values. But the militant, angry black man on TV, given the opportunity to, I love the fruit, but I hate the tree. Let's play the clip of what Shannon Sharpe, he saw some low-hanging fruit with Brett Favre and took it. Let's play shot number 8.
The problem that I have with this situation, you got to be a sorry mofo to steal from the lowest of the low. Skip, Mississippi is the poorest state in our country.
It is.
Its citizens. So if they're the poorest state, Brett Favre is taken from the underserved. The man got the, and this is what we know. Scared when black and brown people do fraud the government, they hell bent. You get an EBT card or you get WIC or you get stuff like that, boy, they move heaven and earth to try to put you in jail for $400 little measly dollars.
Fact.
Now this man done took $1 million. Somebody got $3 million. Somebody got 400,000.
Yeah.
And they sitting around like, well, you know, it happened and we'll see. And they're gonna get more money and do it all over again.
That's Shannon Sharpe with his white minstrel show character, Skip Bayless, backing a bus over Brett Favre. It's low-hanging fruit. It's someone pretending like he cares about taxpayer money in Mississippi.
And now I'm about to go to the last part so we can discuss it. This is Ray Lewis and Shannon Sharpe. And pay attention to Shannon Sharpe, how much he has changed over the years.
Colin Kaepernick kneeled. Now, the very thing that Colin Kaepernick was protesting is the very thing that President Trump encouraged on Friday, which was police brutality. Now, Steve Bisciotti owned that team, and in 2015, you were there. You and I talked about it. Something happened to Freddie Gray. He lost his life for police brutality. I have yet to hear an owner talk about that. I have yet to hear Steve Bisciotti talk about that.
I know, but so let's be very careful with that for this simple reason. Right now, there's over 200 plus murders in Baltimore. How many people you got talking about that? Nobody. So I'm just saying, before you put somebody in a pickle to say
no, I'm not putting him in a pickle, Ray. I'm talking. Okay, let me ask you this: when Pookie shoots a Willie, they find Pookie. Where Pookie going? He going to jail. When these police shoot these unarmed black men and women, even on camera, where they going, Ray? Back on the force. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about the police brutality. See, what they're trying to do is that when we talk about police brutality, they talk about Chicago, they talk about Detroit, they talk about Baltimore. Okay. You want me to come up with a solution that you helped put me in.
I 100% understand what you're saying. And what I'm trying to tell you is there's no issue with what you're talking about with police brutality. We're sitting here as men. So let's understand this. We're sitting here as men. And me and you, as men, ourselves, not watch nobody else deal with police brutality. I lived it.
Oh, I know.
So understand that. Just understand the dynamic of what we're talking about. I'm not talking about if this person stood out. It's not too many people. Say it for what it is. It ain't too many people gonna stand up to go into black neighborhoods and worry about black folks killing themselves. That's factual. So sooner or later, then we figure that out, then we're gonna start taking care of ourselves. So when I started to start to understand these things, Shay, what I started to understand was that ain't Steve Bisciotti's fight, what happened to Freddie Gray. That ain't no owner's fight.
Yes, it is, though, Ray.
If it is,
this is America.
If it is, then all of our owners should get together and go in these urban neighborhoods and clean it up. Why wouldn't you?
Because, Ray.
So as you see there, back in the day, this was when they were still friends too. They were still friends back in this time. But if you notice, they were already kind of pivoting their relationship.
Oh, yeah.
Ray Lewis had matured. He understand, even though what happened to him back in the day when he had his troubles, he figured out that we can't just be blaming the white man because of the black community and vice versa and this and that. But if you notice, Shannon was almost put into these positions to play a certain role. And that's what Jason Whitlock starts to talk about, is that's what Ray Lewis was meaning by Shannon Sharpe. He doesn't recognize the Shannon that he sees today, because he pretty much bought into the world of like commentary and played a role. I think when we talked about it earlier, I kind of referred it to like Tyler Perry playing Mud Deer. He always going to have to play that part to stay relevant in the culture. So what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, basically, I think Ray is more or less putting Shannon in like a sellout type category because he's changed so much. Not necessarily a sellout, but because he's not staying true to himself and he's changed for TV, basically. So it's like, why? It's like my favorite word I like to say all the time. It's like you putting on a superficial facade for TV and for commentary other than being yourself. And we talked about that too. Is that something that he had to do in order to continue to make money and continue to move forward? You know, so so are we getting the real Shannon or not? You know.
And Skywalker said, he said, what I can't ignore is Whitlock being Whitlock, refereeing between the bros. Yeah, a lot of people don't like Whitlock, especially when it comes to like the black community. A lot of people don't like Whitlock, but I'm gonna tell you this: I started watching Jason Whitlock in 2020 during the pandemic. Everything he predicted has come true from 2020 to now. Everything he talked about people character, and he always talked about himself too. He always talked about, because he had a very he loved white women. He talked about that. He loved a certain type of woman when he lived back out in Vegas and out there in Cali and stuff like that. That's why he ended up moving to Tennessee to change his life. He found God, and now he's trying to move in a different direction, probably similar to what Ray Lewis is doing. So a lot of people don't really get along with Jason Whitlock because he knows a lot. He was in these spaces. He was on FS1. He was on these different shows. So he knows a lot of people. So he predicted a lot of this stuff that has happened now. So I said Shannon Sharpe's last great speech was his Hall of Fame speech. Ray is correct. People will hate me if I bring up another dynamic. Yeah. That's very true.
Yeah.
That's very true. That's very true.